what up? It's Lucian. I am here again this week. Sorry, I've got a cold and my phone is a piece of crap. So I'm having to record this on my laptop. So I'm sorry if it's hard to understand me, because there's a lot of stuff happening in my nostrils right now. Anyway, today I just wanted to talk about coming out, because that's sort of a big thing, and I realized, I think it was last week, that it was the 5th anniversary of me, coming out for the first time. Yeah, you heard that right. I came out twice. For the first time, we're gonna have to go all the way back to when I was 16 years old. This is back in 2012, and I'm not saying that, obviously, that trans people didn't exist back then, but I don't think they were, as prevalent as they are now, if that makes any sort of sense. Nowadays, I think the majority of, the average American at least knows knows about trans people, but back in, 2012, not a whole lot of people did. But I was on the internet. My parents didn't monitor my internet activity. Not that I did anything bad on the internet, but so I discovered this community, and I was like, that feels like me. So I don't remember exactly what happened, but something happened with a friend of mine, and I was like, you know what, in solidarity, I'm gonna come out. I don't know how I thought that was gonna help my friend, but I thought it would. So, I did, except the way that I came out was on Facebook, which I do not recommend. If any young person who hasn't come out yet, or old person, or whatever, if any person watching this, trying to figure out a way to come out, I do not recommend Facebook. It's just, I don't know, informal. I don't recommend it. Not for, family members, at least. Because I'll tell you when I get to the second half, whatever. So yeah, I posted on Facebook. The only people that knew at this point were, my internet friends, and the person I was dating at the time, which was also an internet friend. So, no one in my life knew. So I posted on Facebook, and I did not get a very validating response. A lot of people were confused. There were a few people that were like, yay, good for you. But most people were very confused. I remember getting messages like, what is that? I don't know. One of my sisters posted, dude, WTF, on the status. I don't know why I'm really surprised I didn't delete it, actually, but it's still there. It popped up in my memories and everything on Facebook. So yeah, sorry, that was gross. I'm like, I shouldn't be sniffling and stuff, but sorry. So yeah, I remember that night my mom came into my room and she was like, hey, I saw your status on Facebook. Do you want to talk about anything? And I just completely ignored her because I did not want to talk about anything. I was so, embarrassed and just freaked out by the whole response that I got, that I wanted to pretend like it had never happened. So, I remember the next day at school, my best friend we were either in math or French class. We had 2 classes together. I think they were, one after the other. It was, exact same teacher. She was like, so, what is that, on your status? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. And I didn't want to explain it to her. I didn't want to talk about it. Anybody. Even my best friend. I was just unhappy. So I was like, Google it. I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll have to Google it. She comes back the next day, and she's like, so I asked my mom, because her mom was a nurse. she's like, my mom explained it to me, and I just want to let you know that I support you, all this stuff. So shout out to my, like, what? We were in, like, sophomore year? Sophomore, freshman year of high school. Shout out to you, if you ever happen to watch this, that you were super cool and super supportive. And thank you. So, I pretended that that never happened for the next 2 or 3 years. It wasn't until I was like around 18, 19, until I left for college, that I started like freaking out about gender and stuff like that again. And I went through a bunch of different stuff. I'll explain more. I want to do another video specifically about like how I knew I was trans, stuff like that. This is just not coming out. So, it was only like a year ago, like the beginning of summer 2016. I was like, okay, you know what? This is happening. So I told all my friends. I sort of like socially transitioned with my friends. And they were super cool, super awesome. And I felt a lot better about how my family would react, because things had changed, you know, stuff like that. The year before that, or it was that year, I don't remember. I think it was the year before that. Laverne Cox came and spoke at my school, and my mom actually went with me, so that was like super cool. And my sister wasn't as weird, like religious as she used to be. So I was a lot more confident about that. The thing that I was freaked out about was work, because we had just, like, I don't know, it was a whole mess. I might make a video about that, who knows. But where I live, they repealed a ordinance that protected discrimination against LGBT people in, like, workplace, housing, stuff like that. So they repealed it, so they got rid of it, because people were angry that they weren't allowed to discriminate against whoever they want. I don't know. They won. It sucked. So I was freaked out. I didn't want to lose my job. So what I did, I devised a plan. I made a separate Facebook account, started adding like my friends on there, and I was like, hey, this is going to be my new Facebook. I'm just going to have my old one up, just because, so that my coworkers don't question me or whatever. And then I went to work one day, and I got fired. Not because I was trans. I wasn't, like, technically out at this point. It was a totally different reason. I got fired. And I called my mom, like, crying, because I've never been fired before. I had never even been, like, written up or anything. Never gotten in trouble at work in my life before. So, I called my mom, and I was, like, crying and freaking out, and I was like, oh, well, while I have you on the phone, I might as well tell you something else. But I was still so, like, freaked out about just how she would react, how my whole family would react, that I couldn't actually say it, like, out loud. I made her, like, guess it, like, through a guessing game. But she guessed it, because my mom's smart, and she knows me. And then she had my dad call me. So my dad called me, and we talked a little bit. And then I just texted my sisters, and they were like, cool with them. And then I changed, like, my name and gender on Facebook, and I made a post for everyone else, you know, because my best friends already knew, my parents already knew, stuff like that. So then all the extra people in my life, I was okay with letting them know via Facebook. And I think that's the way to go. Like, you should probably tell parents and, like, close friends and stuff like that in person. If not in person, at least, like, on the phone or through a letter or something like that, you know? But all the extra people in your life, doesn't matter. Honestly, doesn't matter. But yeah, and so that was May 2016. May 2016. And so that's how I came out. Twice. Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for videos. Should I do a video about the whole repeal thing? It's interesting to talk about, but it also sucks. But if you want to hear it, then I'll talk about it. Bye.